Next, I'd like to invite Lesley-Anne Staats of the Town of Gibsons. Lesley, would you like to give us a sneak peek of what you'll be chatting about?
Thank you. Thanks everyone. It's really nice to be here. It's such a privilege to share our project because it's not something we do often is look back at the work we've done. We just sort of plow forward. So thank you for this opportunity. The project I'll be sharing is a phased approach project. So it's town land, a development on town land, and this is phase two of the project. So we partnered with BC Builds and also we got some new spaces funding. So we built an apartment with 33 mixed market rental units and a daycare at the ground level on town property. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Lesley-Anne.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, I'm Lesley-Anne Staats. I'm the Director of Planning and Development Services at the Town of Gibsons, and I'm honored to be here to present and show off our project today. Thank you to Lisa for her strong leadership and the BC Builds team to keep us focused on this project. I think that was the key part is a lot of meetings to keep us focused and motivated, and which really helped us pull this off. Next slide, please. Thank you. I'll start this presentation by acknowledging that the town of Gibsons is located on the traditional and unceded territory of the Squamish Nation, and I'm honored to live, work, play, and raise my family on these beautiful lands and waters. Next slide. So this slide shows, gives us a little information about the town of Gibson. So we're a tiny little coastal communities. We're 4 square kilometers in size, and we're on the Sunshine Coast of BC, less than an hour away from Vancouver, and we're accessed by ferry. Our population is just under 5,000 people. Our growth rate is 3.3%, and we have just over 2,000 homes occupied. Next slide. So this slide shows the municipal boundaries and the housing development on municipal land. So the first one, all the little homes here are showing the town land projects that we've done. So in 2020, we built 40 units of supportive housing, and that's on School Road, so kind of right in the middle of the map here. And then in 2022, we built it was kind of a test. We did a small scale mixed market rental housing development. So it's 3 units. We ended up closing a road, raising title to it, and developing a lot. And then we built a single family home and a secondary suite with a garden suite. So that's the 3 units. And then in 2024, we started with Shaw Place. So that's on School and O'Shea Road. And that's 40 units of mixed market rental housing. That was established through a partnership with the local Sunshine Coast Affordable Housing Society, New Commons Development, and BC Housing. And then the orange home is the BC Builds project, and that's phase two of this development. And that's 33 mixed market rental units and a daycare on the ground floor. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is the site I'm going to talk about, which is on the corner of O'Shea and Shaw Roads. It's 1.5 hectares. It's a vacant lot, and it was purchased in 2005 for what was believed to be half the market value of the land. And at that time, because of the low purchase price, we established and registered a covenant. We established a bylaw, a reservation of town property bylaw, and a restrictive covenant on the site to limit future uses. So the future uses were limited to public park, public playground, a community center, public school, police station, library, community health facility, not-for-profit housing for seniors, and it also asked for a 10% park dedication. None of these included housing, or not-for-profit housing. It was very specific to seniors. And then the zoning was public assembly, which is our zone for places of worship, schools, legions. And then at the bottom, it shows that riparian area, development permit area. So there's a creek along the southern property line as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is the proposal we received in 2019. And just For a bit of backstory, in 2017, 2018, the town was working with our Sunshine Coast Affordable Housing Society and New Commons Development to try and find a location for 40 units of mixed market rental homes in Gibsons. And we had a different site, a different building form. We held an open house. We got so much opposition, so we pivoted and moved sites completely. And that's how we ended up on this site here. So in 2019, it was a revised proposal. Here it is. So it's on the east half of this municipal land. Phase one is the colored image there, which shows the 40 units, and phase two is the gray building, which is 30 units. And there's a central playground in the middle and some community gardens. There's some bike parking and vehicle parking as well. So what we did to get this in place is we had to amend a bunch of bylaws. We had to rezone the site. So we had to remove the seniors limitation in that covenant. We had to remove the seniors limitation in the reservation of town property bylaw to allow generally not-for-profit housing. And then we did an OCP amendment and a zoning amendment to change the land use designation to high density residential. We got a form and character DP issued in 2021. There was a parking variance granted, and we had to change the frontage requirements on O'Shea Road. That north road is called O'Shea Road, and it leads to a trail and our natural stormwater ponds that are in place there. So it leads to a trail network. And then the development permit was issued for the ditch in 2022. So next slide, please. And then we got a building permit issued in 2022. So here's an ortho image of that site under construction. Next slide, please. And here's the building. So the occupancy was granted in 2024. The outcome is it has brought so much life and vibrancy to this neighborhood. And even though the covenant was amended to remove the seniors housing provision, there's currently 30% of the units that are being occupied by seniors just because of our demographics. So it kind of worked out. And then now this is built, we were trying to figure out this whole time, how are we going to fund phase two of the project? Next slide. And along came BC Builds. So in December 2023, along came BC Builds, and we let them know we had a site. We needed to fund phase two of the project. We heard shovel ready was a requirement, and it was a box we could basically tick. I think we were missing a development permit. And not long after that, BC Build selected this site as a demonstration project. And at the same time, we got the development permit approved by council. And we had regular meetings with our architect, our nonprofits we were working with, the Sunshine Coast Affordable Housing Society, the development team, and the BC Builds team. And then in January, we found out about the New Spaces Fund. So December, we had the DPs issued. We were ready to go. January, we found out about this new fund, and our partnership team all agreed that we wanted to redesign and try and get a daycare as part of this building. So we brought the New Spaces partner on board to our regular meetings, and we redesigned the building. So we removed 3 units, three residential units on the ground level, and replaced it with a daycare space. And these regular accelerator meetings were facilitated by Lisa, and I can't remember if they were weekly or bi-weekly, but they were all the time. If they felt like we were meeting regularly to keep that momentum going and to keep everyone on the same page, to understand where the ball was and why it was there. And if something was being held up, we all knew what it was, and we could all jump in and support as needed. And that was the key to moving this forward really quickly. And so by May 2024, the development permit was amended, and in November 2024, the building permit was issued. So next slide, please. This is just a site plan image showing how it was tweaked. So the green shows phase one, and then the multicolored shows phase two, and the parking. So we had to recalculate parking, of course, as we all do. And then the daycare, we were like, oh, we need more space. The daycare needs an outdoor space. The daycare needs drop off, pick up parking. So we had to spill into the west 50% of the lot. So we did have to get council approval for that. But it was a no-brainer because there's a daycare shortage here. So it was really great to have everyone on board. Next slide, please. And so this is an image showing phase 1 built and phase 2, which is the BC Builds project in the background under construction. Next slide, please. And here's another picture of phase 2. So currently under construction. I took this picture last week, so they've got more of the roof on now. But the goal is to get occupancy by the spring of 2026. So that's our timeline. And in terms of our lessons learned from this process, I think a big takeaway was being flexible. So sitting and listening to what other people needed in our accelerator meetings, having a strong partnership and recognizing that, you know, each partner has their own needs, has their own mandate, but together we were all working on the same goal, regularly meeting, regularly listening to each other, and rather than just being a blocker, which we can be as planners, we had to think about how to get creative and how to get flexible to get to the goal, which is occupancy. So thank you. That's my presentation.